The Warriors may have better shooters this year, but they also have more willing shooters. Buddy Hield and Lindy Waters have taken 35 threes in these two games against the Pelicans, and because of this, they're committing hard on a lot of closeouts, which helps in situations like this possession. So it starts with a slow-mo dribble to the top of the key to get a quick screen and then dive for pods. The spacing here works really well since Lindy and Buddy are both high-level shooting threats. So you can see that Jamal Cain and Jose Alvarado want to stay within an arm's distance of them. But slow-mo running into the painted area helps a lot with the situation because it forces Jamal Cain to provide any sort of help. He makes a stunt, which makes this pass that Brandon Podziemski makes to Buddy Hield even more effective. Now, Cain has to make a hard closeout, which allows Buddy to easily drive it. And as he drives that closeout, he also gets help from Jeremiah Robinson Earl. But because Pods is still spaced out at the three-point line when Buddy makes this pass, well, now Pods can drive that closeout. And it's this mini chain of closeouts that's really helping the Warriors take advantage of their shooting threats. So because Pods is driving outside here, Jose Alvarado now has to provide help, which frees up Lindy Waters to relocate into this corner. And as Lindy Waters is a pretty effective shooting threat, he can make this pump fake on Jose Alvarado's pretty hard closeout, which gives him this wide open practice shot, which he unfortunately misses, but that's a great look. And it's really good the Warriors can generate those with ease. Now, a simpler Chicago action is what we're going to look at that the Warriors have done a million times. It's going to start out with TJD, who is our passing five at the top of the key. We've talked about this as delay before, where you have a passing five at the top, and then you have actions being run on the side. In this situation, in Chicago actions, what's going to happen is that Draymond or whoever is going to come set a pin down for a corner shooter to run up and take this handoff from the big. That's exactly what happens here. Draymond sets a really effective screen on Brandon Ingram, who's clearly caught off guard. And Lindy's able to take that shot, run up that screen, and drain that. I think what's important here is, especially for Warriors hopefuls, is that Lindy and Buddy have both displayed a lot of comfort when it comes to shooting off of these screens. Podziemski has also had some really good moments in these two Pelican games. One of the reasons he was on first team All-Rookie was because he has this knack for being in the right place at the right time, especially for rebounds, which ends up generating a lot of great looks whenever you get second chance opportunities. As Buddy is releasing the shot, watch Pods, he's immediately running to the basket. Because Alvarado is sort of behind on this play because of Kuminga running up to the top, he gets to the exact right spot. He makes this tip at the very top, and then there's Buddy with the second chance shot, and he drains it. Now, both Pods and TJD have actually looked really comfortable moving the ball around in the offense, and exploiting ball watching and lazy defense. So this starts out high ball screen, Pods, TJD. Pods feeds it to Draymond, who gets in this pinch post positioning, and TJD is going to make this really fast cut to the basket. Now, this rookie, Missy, is caught ball watching, right? He's watching Draymond, and Zion is sort of overcommitting to Dre in this situation. Dre's not usually a threat when it comes to his positioning in the post, right? Like, especially when he's this far out. A lot of defenders aren't that worried about Dre making some sort of shot. But Zion really wants to commit hard to him, and because of that, and because of TJD's positioning on the backside of Missy, he's able to make this really nice alley-oop for a TJD dunk. Now, TJD has made nearly 80% of his field goals this year. Obviously, most of these shots are at the rim, so that makes sense, but he's also continuing to exploit a lot of the double teams that shooters draw. This inbound play is the same. So we have slow-mo spaced out at the top. Javonte Green is going to want to stay attached to whatever shooter comes out of this little screening action. He gets Lindy. He wants to stay attached to Lindy. And then you can see here TJD setting this exit screen for Buddy to run into the corner. And as a dangerous shooting threat, Buddy ends up drawing both Jamal Cain and Jeremiah Robinson Earl. which is similar to what happens a lot with Steph, what happens with Clay last year, which allows TJD to just run freely, slip to the basket for an easy dunk over Javonte Green. Finally, I just wanted to highlight Kuminga. Kuminga's had a share of issues to start the year, but he's always been dominant in the open court with his athleticism. In this possession, you might expect him to take this Euro step inwards and then find his way to the basket. But because of JK's craftiness, his athleticism, he actually does this really nifty, inverted, sort of outside Euro step, which frees him up for this layup quite easily. And you can see how thrilled D'Anthony Melton and Steph are right here. They're just losing it. But it's an example of Jonathan Kuminga finding a lot of comfort in the open court. So the Warriors have looked really good in these past 2 games without Steph. They've been moving the ball. They've had really attentive defense, and their shooters have been shooting well. And it should bode well for the Warriors in the future.